and welcome back to On the Slab. How are we all doing this evening? Greg, my man, how are you keeping?
I'm here.
Exactly.
Back.
How's the health, brother?
All good, baby. All good. You?
Yeah, grand. I'm good. Of course, it is Friday night. And what night is it on Friday night?
It's definitely not. It's definitely not comedy night.
No, it's not.
No,
It is
we've got horror night.
horror night. So, of course, we're going to bring you some horror from the slab that we love so much.
It's not a list this time, though.
No. We've gone back to looking at a film, and it's a film that we both love. We seem to be getting a lot of good films that we love on this show recently.
Poor old Dynamo does not.
Shout out to Dynamo. We love you, brother. Come on, bring in some films. Yeah.
This is a controversial film, though. This is one of them ones you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah, and we're on the love it side, I think, you and me.
Yeah, I remember watching this when it first came out, and I was hooked from about 5 minutes in. Now, I think it's the only one of his movies that I like, really.
Pretty much for me as well.
Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna go with the 2003 masterpiece from M.Night Shyamalan, Signs.
That's the one. What a film.
Do you know how much hard work we put into saying that man's name?
4 takes.
Yeah. No, what a movie, what a cast.
A very, very stellar cast, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you pick up Joachim Phoenix and Mel Gibson, and then the two kids, kind of.
What's it? Rory Culkin is the young fella.
Yeah, Macaulay Culkin's little brother, isn't it?
Yeah. And I was looking at I was actually looking at a picture of him recently enough. He still looks the same. Well,
he's grown up, but yeah,
they've got the Culkin kids have like mad looking features. I don't mean that to sound bad, but they didn't age gracefully, if you know what I mean.
No, well, it's like the Olsen twins. They didn't age gracefully either.
It's a shame. It really is a shame. I'm not going to get myself into trouble here by saying shit like that.
No, the little girl was the creepy one of the two in this, whose name I can't quite remember.
I can't remember her name. It's get it.
Yeah, I'll grab it here. Like she played her part probably the best of all 4 of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she was only about 6 or something in it.
Yeah, I loved the whole thing with the
glass. Oh, sure. How could you not? Abigail Breslin.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. The name slipped the mind there.
Oh, yeah. The way, as you said, the whole way, you know what? There was just a great feeling about that film.
The tension.
Yeah, tension and inevitability that something is definitely going to happen, And I really don't think it gets as much love as it should. Now, as you said, it could be certain factors like of who's in it or who's directing it or whatever, but stuff and it goes along so quick, but it doesn't feel like it's being rushed. It's just I think that is his strongest film.
Oh, it's definitely his best film. I haven't seen the newest one, Old. No, I heard good things about that one.
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet, but I will see it at some point.
I can imagine there's going to be a huge twist in it at the end, but sure.
Yeah.
No, like this one for me, I think it's about an hour and 40 minutes or something, but it moves quickly.
Yeah.
But doesn't feel it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's the tension in it builds and builds very quickly. Like the acting between Joaquin Phoenix and Mel Gibson, obviously not believing anything and thinking it's a group of kids that are, teenagers that are doing it, to then coming to the realization that, okay, something's happening here.
Yeah.
And Joaquin Phoenix obviously being the one that has no interest in believing in it at the start. He's the first one to go, yeah.
I love the one thing that did annoy me about it was when he goes over to Shyamalan's gaff, to talk to him, and a man's giving him the spiel and he's heading off, and then he goes, "Oh, by the way, there's one in my pantry." You're just like, wouldn't you think he would have called the police or something?
What the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
No, but this story starts off kind of with a crop circle or crop signs, really, and then builds from there. But like the The amount of times I watched this, I went to see this in the cinema twice in Bray Cinema, and
So,
twice I went, and twice I missed the piece. Where Abigail Breslin goes in and she's like, "I'm thirsty. Can I have a glass of water? There's a
yeah,
monster outside my room." And John, where the alien is standing on
yeah,
the tower. I missed that the twice that I seen it in the cinema.
yeah. I did as well. Actually, in fairness, it really is a blink and you'll miss it.
Yeah,
You
because
know.
it's so dark, and all you see is kind of the eyes and the shape,
Mm.
and it's done so well.
Yeah,
And then
what I loved about that though is the whole you hear the footprint or the foot tap bars, you hear you know all this kind of shit. You don't see the full on thing and just right until the end, more or less the end of the film.
he kind of goes off on a Jaws kind of way, doesn't he? He shows
Yeah,
you very little.
yeah,
Like the first time you really see them, obviously, is him standing on the water, the silage tower, but you
yeah.
don't see anything. That could be a person. And then you see obviously the videotape of the little kids' party in
Oh,
Brazil.
that freaked me out. That I
I
have to say.
love Joaquin Phoenix's reaction here is brilliant.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I don't know, like to me, as good as an actor as he is, I don't know if they showed him what they were going to make it look like.
No, probably
So that
not.
kind of way, they might have recorded that somewhere and went, "Here you go, one take, and we're
Yeah,
off."
yeah. So I mean,
Um,
yeah, like any normal, rational human being that would see that,
yeah,
at any year would just would react very similar to the way he did. I mean, what can you do? You're worried about the kids that are at the party, like you know.
yeah.
But like, yeah,
I look,
that really did freak me out. And even watching it I was watching it last night, and I know exactly what's gonna happen, but I'm just waiting for it. And I'm waiting for it, and then you just see it.
I love him screaming at the telly, "Move, kids, vámonos,
Yeah,
vámonos,"
vamos,
because they're
yeah.
gonna move, pal. um, I love the like. There's certain subtle things they do in this that everything ties into one.
Yeah,
Like you see him, John, when they're in the town, and he gets obviously, the young lad gets the book. Have you got any books? And I did. Oh, actually, we might have one.
yeah.
And she just knows exactly where it is.
Mm,
So obviously that
very,
was never going to be sold. And then they go for pizza, and obviously, Joaquin Phoenix is in looking at the army, and they're like, "Oh, you're this person," and then he has a strikeout record,
yeah,
and you're like, so he swings the bat as hard as he can, and that's it.
yeah.
And then
So,
obviously the story from Mel Gibson's wife passing away, and she's like, "Tell him to swing away."
swing away, yeah.
Yeah,
Swing
and
away,
like,
bro.
yeah, swing away.
I
But
love that.
yeah, I'll tell you what though, like, in a small town like that, if you were the person that killed his wife, like the looks that you get, you'd be afraid to see them.
Mm.
Like
But
I know it's an accident, he falls asleep at the wheel.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But
You can see that though, as you're saying. Your man is like it's Shyamalan,
it is, yeah, himself, yeah.
and you can see that he's like, yeah, he can't look at anyone really. Like he's so, you know,
Like he sees them when they're in the restaurant that time, and they're all looking at him.
yeah,
He's just kind of like,
yeah.
just gonna go now. But like that, I'd imagine that's how it is in a small town in America. If you
Everyone knows
have an
everything.
accident, yeah, if you had an accident and killed somebody, like that's somebody's wife, somebody's kid, or something.
Yeah, and then of course, if you were drunk behind the wheel or something, I'd say
That's worse, yeah.
yeah. But like they didn't really elaborate on how he fell asleep at the wheel, so they didn't really.
No, you just said he was coming from work and he fell asleep. He says 5 seconds later he would have woke up in the ditch with a sore head.
Jesus.
Do you know what I mean? It's just, it is what it is. Like everything is obviously linked in. That everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, yeah. And the name signs. There's so many signs in it.
Yeah, it's just so good. Even the music in it. There's not much music in it.
Atmosphere.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But even the music they have in the background, you know, when they're driving home in the car and he has the baby monitor on.
Yeah.
And then they get up on the car and you can hear it in the background. You can hear the aliens talking. And it's just like in this, like I don't know whether you remember the build up to it. I don't really remember it, but like, did they build this up as an alien movie?
I can't really remember. I think they did. You know, like I mean, you see, I mean, they have to get the promotional stuff for it had the crop signs on it.
Yeah.
So you're kind of thinking that it is a horror, or sorry, an alien film, you know.
Yeah, and then
if I remember correctly, I think they did promote it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I can't remember. I just remember seeing an ad for fitness in the cinema one day, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go see that.
Yeah. Oh, you went to see it in the cinema now. Yeah. Do you know another part that's freaky as well? When he sees the leg in the cornfield. What the fuck is it with cornfields? They're so fucking creepy in the dark.
I suppose it's because if you have a cornfield, normally it's going to be pitch black.
Yeah, we see all that rustling of the corn. Like that's just.
Yeah.
Did we put a cornfield in that episode of Scary Places? Did we?
No. Should have.
Rookie mistake there by us.
And you think about it, like children in the corn, things like that. But yeah, like it's obviously because it's pitch black. But like when he's walking along, you wouldn't pay me enough. I don't care if it was my farm or your farm.
Oh,
you're not paying me enough.
I would never.
I mean, especially in America, because you could have anything in there.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
There's. I mean, and like the way Mel Gibson goes through that, it's almost like he knows every part of the bleeding thing.
Yeah, well, you see that very quickly at the start. You know, when he's running in the light, and he knows exactly where they're calling from.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, well, obviously it's his farm. You obviously got to know most of the way. But like that thing gets real. That thing gets probably 3 or 4 feet from his face.
Yeah, Jesus.
He can't see it. But what makes it worse in the cornfield is that, like, obviously the alien is set to show himself, or at least semi-show himself, because he's beside Mel Gibson at the start when he drops the light the first time, and obviously they change colours, which you don't know about until the end. Like when he sticks his leg out, he intently leaves it out so that he can see. And then obviously,
what did you think of the special effects in this film?
There's not much really when you think about it. What's the main bits are watching the UFOs come in, and they're just lights in the sky. Like the design of the alien was quality.
Yeah, the only thing I don't think that aged well in the film is actually when Meryl is fighting him at the end.
Yeah, it's bad.
Because you're seeing him full on, whereas like the thing with the kids in Brazil, you just see a bit of it, and it goes up, and that's perfect for me. But
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, the only part that really didn't age well for me was that at the end.
But there at the end, you know, when he has the young fella up in his arms and he's going to spray him. Do you notice when you're looking at, you see obviously Meryl and Mel Gibson's character standing there, you can see their face in his arm.
Yeah.
Like the things like that were brilliantly done. And like the breast of his thing matches the young fella's shirt.
That's right, yeah, I forgot that.
I mean, there's certain things, but that tells me that he's in the house when they come up and they just don't see him.
Yeah. Well, he's been there. He's been there for ages, hasn't he? You know,
well,
I'd say scoping out the places for years. No, do you know what I thought was great as well? Sorry, I cut across you there. You know when they've locked up everywhere, and then you just hear them all outside, and then you hear them up on the roof, and then you hear them bang.
In the attic.
They're in the attic. Bang. They're in the bedroom or whatever, and you just hear them all rolling around like that. That for me was fucking freakier than seeing a full-on alien, like, you know.
One of the best things there was it was the simple thing. Instead of boarding the window, board the doors.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Less to do, fine. They actually cop onto that then and do upstairs, but they left the attic drawstring down, so they come down through the attic. But you know when they're on their way down, running down from the hand that comes under the door.
Oh yeah.
You see the fingers, and it's a little lad that notices it, and you're like, oh shit. Shit's about to get real.
He's getting revenge for his fingers, what?
Well, that wasn't him, but it was, like the pantry door scene is still terrifying.
It is. I
know. You know it's coming every time.
Yeah. Like I said, I was watching it last night, and I'm just waiting. There it is.
I think it's because of the noise.
Yeah.
The nails dragging and then clipping on the ground, like.
Yeah, I know the clicks that they make as well to communicate.
Yeah.
If we heard something like that outside in the middle of even at the back garden, I'd be like, fucking hell, that would be freaky as fuck. Do you know
what happened? There's a Carl-shaped hole in the wall there.
Yeah, we could never break that wall down until now.
Yeah, going straight through it.
A few weeks ago, actually, Greg. I know this is going off topic a little bit. There was a fox out in my back garden. It was about 3 a.m. And have you ever heard a fucking fox?
Yeah, they're horrible.
Oh my god! So I was actually editing the podcast for us, I think, and all I hear is, yeah, you know that thing they do.
Yeah. It's like a kid scream.
Yeah. But it went on for about 2 minutes. I was like, "Fuck, go away, will you, please? Like,
go away!"
Yeah, shut up! It was horrible. But
Yeah.
I like that's the kind of reaction I'd get now if I heard that clicking. I'd be like, oh, fuck that.
I just turn around and walk back in.
I think I just saw my pants right there.
What happened? I'm about 2 stone lighter, lads. Not even ashamed. No, but the language they have in it, the clicking and whatever way they communicate. Obviously, I'd say somewhat telepathic as well. I'd say, but I love how they're figuring out problems.
Yeah.
And they're not trying to get in. They're just turning the handle of the door, banging on the door, and he's like, they're just making noise. And then they were like, that's where they realized that's where they're in their head.
Yeah.
Because they're like, this used to be a coal bunker. And then you see it when the 2 arms come around. They're like, oh. I love how the arm is black and you can see the hole in it. Because obviously it's taking that colour and then it just moves and they're like, yeah. And they're like, yeah.
I do think actually, I do think it's one of the better
Alien movies.
Yeah, I really do.
Oh, I have it right up there.
Yeah, so do I.
Aliens, this. For somewhat, I have a lot of love for Independence Day. I know it's not a horror movie, but
no, it's a good film though.
Mars Attack and things like that.
I love Mars Attacks.
Yeah. There's a few of them, but like this one, like if I want to watch a good alien movie, it's one of the 3 of them really in terms of horror. And even Aliens isn't really horror; it's more sci-fi.
Yeah.
The Predator obviously is another one.
Yeah, something. I would never class Predator as a horror, strict horror. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's got a bit of everything in there.
It's a bit of everything in it. Yeah, but I could roll with if someone said to me, "Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite horrors," I'd be like, "Yeah, that's fine. That's a great horror movie." You know what I mean?
Well, it probably falls under creature feature, which is a subgenre of horror.
Well, of course, that's your bag, isn't it? Creature feature. So if you say it's a creature feature, then it's a creature feature.
Well, I imagine that's where it probably would fit in because obviously it's an alien creature, whatever.
Yeah.
But then again, I fall under that one where I only call creature features if they have animals, really.
That's right. You have your little rules for that, don't you?
Yeah. Like aliens are aliens on their own and things, invasion movies and like it probably would fall under creature feature. That's just me.
Yeah.
But, like this for me is an invasion movie, really.
Yeah.
And a very fucking good one. Like, what a way for him to introduce himself into Hollywood. Like,
yeah, I love it.
But I think this was his first big movie.
Yeah, I think.
He might have had a couple other ones before.
When was the one he did with Bruce Willis?
Oh, Unbreakable.
No, the one before that. Sixth Sense. That was the first one, I think.
Oh, that was him, wasn't it? Yeah, that was 99. Yeah, that was his first one.
Yeah, now that's a debut. That's a good debut.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it?
No, that's very good.
Yeah, sorry, that's it. Yeah, that was his first one. Then it was this, and then it was The Village,
which was shy. I went to see that in the cinema.
Oh, so I have a funny story about that one. I went to see that in London with one of my uncles, and the cinema broke down on us 3 times.
No way.
I was going home the next day, so they eventually got it working. They gave us free tickets. So I went home, went back, and my uncle, and he's like, "Oh, you're going home tomorrow?" He says, "We go back to the cinema, went back and watched Dodgeball then."
That's a very good film.
I was like, that's the best thing that came from me watching The Village.
You got to see Dodgeball for free.
Yeah, because The Village was fucking poison.
God, it was awful.
Well, actually, no, that's not entirely true. The Village was good for probably the first half an hour. They started it off the premise very well, and then they just kind of went off on a random one.
Yeah, the premise, like you say, was good, but it just was handled shy. That's all.
Yeah, everything was just rushed at the end, and then whatever. But like, then there was the lady in the water or something that he done.
Yeah, didn't watch that.
That was terrible. His new one is supposed to be good though, as it says old.
Yeah, I've still to check it out. Yeah,
I'll get there.
He gets a bad rap, doesn't he, though, for his films? He really does.
Like,
And
every film is the same though, really, isn't it? You just know there's a big twist coming at the end,
yeah, yeah.
and then like he can't help himself but do it. And I know it's the sign of a good screenwriter as well if you can throw a twist in that no one sees coming.
Mm.
But with this guy, everyone knows there's a twist at the end. Like when they came up in Signs, if you've watched The Sixth Sense, you know there's going to be one left.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you watch horror, you know there's going to be one left anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But he just telegraphs things far too much where he thinks he's going to get you on the edge. Didn't he do The Happening as well?
Yes. I think so,
With
yes.
Mark Wahlberg, and that was fucking terrible too. Jesus. Like I can understand why people either love him or hate him.
Yeah, you see, I only really love this film of his. I like one or two more, literally one or two, and I
love The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, that's great.
Now I prefer this over The Sixth Sense in terms of the type of movie that it is. But if someone told me we're sitting down to watch The Sixth Sense, I'm not going to say no.
Yeah, I'd watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of way. It's not that I don't like it. I do love it as a film. I just prefer this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, isn't it mad how they discover that water more or less kills them?
I don't like that. I think that's just him trying to find his line in the movies. Like, they don't seem to like water because all the crop signs are nowhere near water. Where on this earth isn't really near a lake or a river or something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it just happens that the little girl has a water phobia.
Do you think that was a subconscious thing, maybe?
For him?
For her to put them all over the place.
So well, that's it. It's kind of like the swing away thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So that kind of way, and how the young fella has really bad asthma. Do you know what I mean? And then it's like the poison didn't get in.
Thankfully.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Well, I mean, like that would have been the big twist.
Yeah, if he had killed off the young fella.
Yeah, that would have been the twist that he should have gone with.
It would have been very dark then, wouldn't it? It would have been a lot darker.
No, but you know what I mean? Like you very rarely see that. And I mean, if you want to make a statement, like he made a great movie. If you wanted to make a statement with it, that was the way to do it.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I think, yeah, it would, because here's me saying, it's another film. I love endings like that one. Like I love when no one wins. You know,
no one loses, no one wins. Yeah.
Yeah, like I just love that. Like in the Descent. You ever see that?
Oh, that's a dark ass movie, isn't it?
We're gonna be doing that soon.
That's one of my. Neil Jordan is one of my favorite. No, Neil Marshall, sorry.
Yeah.
Is one of my favorite directors. Like obviously he came off doing Dog Soldiers as well.
Yeah. Was that his follow up to Descent, wasn't it?
Yeah, Dog Soldiers was the first. The Descent was the second, and then he produced the Descent 2. And then he done Doomsday.
Oh, really? Okay.
And some other one, and then like lately, then there's talks of they were meant to do a Dog Soldiers trilogy and all. Oh. He couldn't get the script right, so he was just like, nah.
Oh, that's a shame.
Well, I think I'm happy to leave it where it is because if they get it wrong,
it
takes away. Like apparently there was supposed to be a second part to Signs.
Oh God. And
I was like, well, what are they gonna do?
Yeah, they don't. It doesn't need it.
Just stand in Ireland, you'd be grand. It'll rain most of the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But I think that's like pretty much. I think we've pretty much gone around the film. We love the film. We love the music. We love the acting. We love
the suspense.
Twist. Yeah, it's one of the first like real when I went to the cinema films that made me feel that atmosphere that I love so much about horror films.
There's not many of them.
No. And to be able to experience in the cinema, like
The Descent was another one that's like that, though. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. That's claustrophobic, and I was watching that there not so long ago, and I was like, "Geez, why would you do that? Why would you go into that cave?" Like,
I know.
I don't get where people get that idea from. I'm quite happy to sit at home and be a fat fuck
and watch people doing it on YouTube. That's what I prefer.
No, I would not do that either.
I like watching abandoned. You like people doing the urban, adventuring, looking in abandoned houses and shit like that. I love all that. Not for ghost stuff or anything, just to see what people have left behind or
Oh, see, I don't mind that. It's they're going into the small caves and all, and you're like,
Yeah.
no. But yeah, no, this movie is tense and dark is the easiest way to
Yeah.
say. Even when it's
Yeah.
bright, it's dark.
Yeah. Like you said, there's a sense of foreboding. There's a real tension there. And
Yeah.
I mean, if you were gonna give it your slabs, how many slabs of meat would you give it?
Oh, five.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah, I love this movie.
Okay. I
Like
know.
there's not much wrong with this movie when you think about it. Like the other way, there's always plot holes.
Yeah.
Maybe the special effects don't hold up as well, and you get maybe a 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, I'd probably go 4.
That's what I
Uh,
would have went with. Yeah.
I'd probably go 4 because some of the special effects don't hold up a little
No.
bit. Now that's unfortunate because of the time it came out.
Yeah.
But when you think about the likes of like American Werewolf, the special effects and that held up.
Because it was all practical, you know.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't even too much that you had to do in this, apart from, as we said earlier, the fight scene at the end.
Mm.
You know what I mean? You just get a guy in a costume, but
Yeah.
it just didn't look great.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know what? That's the only kind of gripe I have about the film. It really is.
No, even with that, in the build-up to that fight, as it says, where you see the two lads facing around because you see the alien holding the kid like this and things, is brilliant. Like the small touches he done, that's probably the worst bit of it.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, everything else is great. The pace of the story,
oh yeah,
everything is great. You know, and I really do think he knocked it out of the park with this one.
Yeah, this, like, everyone says Sixth Sense, but this for me is obviously I prefer this over Sixth Sense.
Yeah,
this one's a lot easier of a watch than the Sixth Sense.
Yeah,
as well. Like, and the acting is probably better.
It is better, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, as you said, if you had went with that dark end, then it would have actually made the film 10 times better, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, I imagine there's probably an alternate cut where he had that idea, or one of them died.
I'd love to hear that. I'd love to know if he did. You know.
But then again, you never know with him.
That's true. That is true.
I don't even think he knows.
Yeah.
He has to watch the film when it goes to the cinema to be like, oh yeah, I did that this time.
He doesn't even know his own name, for fact. Like.
Well, we made a good effort at it. I'm not going to try it again.
We did. Well, so look, I think we'll leave it at that for tonight because it's just one film, so.
Yeah, there's no point in harming on. We're not at Retrotainment at the minute. Detailing every bit of it.
You liked that, did you? A few weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
True though.
Pop shot. I mean,
I owed Ted for his little Easter egg when he was on my show. So.
Look.
Yeah.
Ted's a good lad.
He is. He's one of the best. Actually, before we go, let's have a little quick chat about what's happening with all our shows. I know you and the lads were talking about it on the upper tier the other night, but we're staying on Dynamo's network. Dynamo's dozen.
Yeah, we're staying under the Dynamo's page, yeah.
And this on the Slab. Retrotainment has its own page now.
Yeah, which both Retrotainment and Recast will be going up on a weekly and 2-weekly basis.
Lovely. And then, of course, King Wo's Court is now on King Wo's Court page. Yeah, and I'm back up with the Anger episodes, because like what I like about I was listening to a few of my old episodes. I was like, they actually work well, you know, just audio as well. So I'm going back to that format as well now. So I have a lot.
Yeah, but even for us, like it wouldn't make too much difference if you listen to it.
Yeah, I actually think your show, now just Retrotainment, works well as a listen, just as an audio thing more so, you know.
Yeah, it's because we're not showing anything in it.
Yeah.
So that kind of way. Like I do occasionally, like when I'm listening to it, I'll be going in the car and I'll put it on and then I'll hook it up to the stereo. Like, so even if it's the YouTube version, I'm not watching it. You know what I mean? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Sometimes just some shows flow better when you're listening to them. I feel like, you know, like if I'm watching shows or if I'm like that, I may not always watch them, and I might have them just on on YouTube, but I'd still just listen to them. You know?
Yeah. Well, like with it being thing, I'd probably put it through Alexa or something if I was listening to it. So that kind of way.
Yeah. Well, look, that's what we're all at the moment. Everyone's doing their own thing. Dynamo has his podcast. Dynamo's dozen upper tier have their own page now as well. They're flying again as always. Shout out to Niall. and what's the other chap's name? Darren, is it?
Darren, yeah.
Yeah.
Darren's a good lad as well.
Shout out to the lads. I actually thought he was going to rip Chelsea apart in that review. You know.
Oh, I put it on, and I had it on, and I was listening to it. And I was like, oh, it's going off, and it just didn't.
Yeah, he's lucky.
Would have to just unfortunately, now, if you didn't see the mashup yesterday, I was on the mashup yesterday. Darren's phone died before he had a chance to go off.
Thankfully for him.
Yeah, well, I think we would have had to start it. I would have had to start another YouTube page.
Well, look, that's what the Dynamo Podcast Network family are at now. But for now, don't forget to like, share, and if you like and share and subscribe to the Dynamo dozen YouTube page for this. But also subscribe, like, and share to Retrotainment's YouTube and King Rose Court, because there's some awesome,
the upper tier as well.
And the upper tier. There's some awesome content on all those shows. Something for everyone. We're just all in around the bubbles now.
I mean, it's still pretty much the Dynamo's Podcast Network, just slightly on a separate page now. Yeah. Where everything's broken up for you a little bit easier.
Well, Greg, for tonight, let's say goodbye to all of our horror hounds and wish them happy viewing, yes, and enjoy your horror night on a Friday night.
Watch Signs.
Yes, do watch Signs.
It's on Disney Plus.
Mel Gibson is gorgeous in it. Adios. Take care.
Good luck.